Well, I immediately ran into an issue. So I keep forgetting there's a little bracket down here. Wow, look at that. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Sean. This is the Cougar Eliminator Den. I appreciate you stopping by. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And now on to today's video. Last week I took it apart and I figured I'd repaint the can while I was at it. So I got another coat on there and I'm gonna put the pump back together. Trying to get the space cleared and get the pump back on the shelf. Here's the finished product. Finally got it back together and now it's going on the shelf. So here's my parts order from Chaco Stang. I ordered a complete rebuild kit for the power steering proportioning valve, on top of all new seats, and I had to get new relief valves because I stupidly dropped these in degreaser and it destroyed them. Not reproduced, so I'm fortunate he had those. And he gave me a new sleeve, new socket. Actually, these might be original. That one looks original. I'll have to check. And then a new kit. I'm going to work on putting my control valve back together. Hopefully it goes smoothly. We'll find out. Quick update, guys. I have this partially together, the new stud and the sleeve in there. I also got the little retaining pin in there as well, and just finished putting the two seals in on this thing with the spool. You had to use my my vise and a couple sockets to sort of press the seals in. That worked pretty well. It's coming along, taking a little bit longer than I expected, but I think it's going to turn out okay. I am very close to being able to put this thing back together. I can't finish this in because I am somehow missing this washer over here. I need two of them. I only have one. It would go on this stud right here on either end of this spring setup right here. So I guess I'll have to go to like Home Depot or somewhere and try to find this washer, which I don't think should be a big deal. Should have no trouble finding it, but that's stopping me for now. I stopped by the auto parts store on the way home, picked up a couple different sizes of tube nuts. So now I can press in the tube seats in the control valve without damaging anything. That's the proper way to do it. And I also got a little box of washers here. Managed to find the exact size of the one that I only had one of. So that's good. I can finish rebuilding the control valve. Here's the finished product, guys. Pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm not going to claim it's NOS, but it's pretty nice for being original parts, I think. So pretty happy with how this turned out. You can even see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the cap, I have the original cap on it. I don't know if you can see that. It's a date code, May 67, May 31st, I think. So I'll just quickly put together the ram cylinder. This boot right here is actually the original boot off the car. Believe it or not, it turned out pretty good after cleaning it up. Still pliable. All the parts down here are replacement except for the nut. Getting this accordion looking seal thing on the end of this is actually kind of annoying, but managed to get it on. And I'm just staging stuff right now just so I don't lose things. So as of right now, I just got to clamp this, and this is ready to go in. Now that the rear end is back from the builder, I'm ready to start installing the leaf springs. I got them sitting down there. Those have been under the bench for quite a bit of time. New U-bolts, front eyelet bolts, leaf spring hangers, and new bushings. I have the original blocks and a little angled, not sure what they call those, like spacers, I guess. I'm not really sure, but I have those in the box down there. Those have been restored. I'm going to work on at least putting the front of the leaf springs in, the front eyelet, and I'll just probably just prop up the back, and I'll work on getting the rear end done. Well, I immediately ran into an issue. As you can see here, this is one of the original leaf spring bolts, and here's the ones I got, quite a bit shorter. So I'm guessing it was just a different design year to year. Maybe these are 68 bolts. Bad news is I only have one of these. I don't know what happened to the other one. Might it be, I'm guessing it was probably beyond repair or something. Maybe we had to cut it out, I don't know. Just confirmed on the West Coast Cougar website, the 68 to 70 are 5 inches, and the 67 are 6.5 inches. So that is the problem here. So I have the original upper and lower control arm nuts and bolts off the Cougar. Here's the one of the control arms. I got all the nuts and bolts tightened on this, and this is pretty much ready to go in. I do have new coil springs. They're in this box. So I keep forgetting there's a little bracket down here, and it's been sitting on the car right there. Haven't taken it off, haven't restored it, so I had to pull that off. Gonna dunk it in the various buckets I have and get that going. So here's a piece that was just taken off the car to give you an idea of what stuff looks like that's been sitting under the car for 55 years. These have never been taken off. Very dirty, very rusty, and these have been restored. These are the original to the car low control arm bolts. So just give an idea of the transformation from that to that. So here's the original suspension ready to go in the car. Spindle, not original, new reproduction low control arm and restored upper control arm. And this stuff is ready to bolt in on the passenger side, and I'm gonna get to work. There's that. Very simple stuff. So amateur hour over here. There you go. There it is, staged. I don't remember if I need to take the control or the coil spring like shield cover, coil spring cover off to put the coil springs in. I might have to, so I will have to take that off, I think. But yeah, it's staged and everything fits. Here's the original nut that came off the idler arm of the Cougar GT. After looking at it closer, I did clean it up, but after looking at it closer, I realized the threads are just totally stripped out on it. I mean, this thing is not usable. So I decided I'd go with a same size nut, also original nut, but it's more, I'm not sure what it was for. It's a different part of the power steering system. So here I have a different nut on here. I still have to tighten it, but super tight, looking pretty good. And now I'm working on other parts of the steering. I have a whole new kit for all the steering nuts, cotter pins and stuff at this point. And yeah, I'm just kind of getting this organized, getting steering ready to go, because I'm going to be rolling the car out of here sooner than later. Yeah, once I get the suspension all together, steering in, and then I can roll it out. So we picked up the transmission and rear end from our guy up in San Bernardino, probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago at this point. And I know the easiest way to, well, I should say they still have to be filled with oil. Both of them are dry on the inside. And I know it's quite a bit harder to do that when they're in the car. You need like a pump. So I figured why not get the oil now and do it now, and then so we don't have to deal with it later. So I ordered stuff from Summit, 3 different kinds of oil filter. I was actually pretty amazed on how quickly this stuff got here. I ordered it like Thursday afternoon, and it was here yesterday, which is Saturday, so it took like less than 2 days to get here. So now I have 4 quarts of 80/90 gear oil for the transmission. The transmission only holds 2, but I did some research, and David Key, who's a guy who's kind of a guru for Ford top loaders, on his website says that you should change the oil after about 500 to 1,000 miles of driving. And so I got 4 quarts for the first 1,000-ish miles, and then swap it out, 2 new quarts. I got 5 quarts of Comp Cam's break-in oil 1030 with zinc and phosphorus enhanced. So hopefully nothing goes wrong with the break-in. That's fingers crossed. That's a pretty important moment. And here's the rear end oil. I believe the rear end takes 2.5 quarts, and I got 5, I think, because I forget exactly why, but I believe it needs to be swapped out after X amount of miles as well. And here's the engine oil filter, Motorcraft. So we have our 85/140 gear oil, Lucas oil ready to go in the rear end. And here's the rear end. I've got a flexi funnel here. I think the way that they do this is they fill it until it comes out the hole. So it should take about 2.5 quarts. All right, now that the rear end is filled up with oil, I can get the working on other parts of the rear end, like the external, like the brake line. And I guess I have wheel cylinders for the rear brakes that have been rebuilt. Put those on. I found the little vent tube, the original vent tube for the rear end right here. And here's a bracket for it. Here's actually the original clamp for the vent tube line that comes out of the... I'm going to open it up and see if I can find the original, or I should say the right line for the rear end that goes side to side. Small layer of paint stripper on the back of the fan. While that's doing its job, I have the ram, power steering ram cylinder mount bracket and nuts and bolts and stuff here. I threw the ram cylinder bracket and bolts and stuff in the molasses bucket, and I pulled out the strut rod. This had only been in the molasses for like 3 days, and it's already looking really good. So here's the original voltage regulator off the 67 GT Cougar. Wow, look at that. So yeah, this has never been taken off. You can see the factory black paint. That is crazy. Here's the internals. Looks pretty good shape to me. Damn, that's impressive. I don't know, like I said, I've never done one of these, so I don't know if it's good or not, or even how to test it, but just by a visual, it looks pretty dang nice. So here's the original alternator off the GT Cougar. This is as is, removed condition. After doing a bit of research, I discovered, also through recommendation on the Cougar forums, there's a company in, I believe it's Phoenix, called All Start Electric, that will rebuild starters, alternators, electrical components for classic cars. So I'm going to try my hand at disassembling an alternator for the first time. Here's the disassembled alternator casing, original case for the Cougar GT.
had to watch a YouTube video on how to take it apart at a certain point. I didn't want to screw stuff up, you know, banging on things that shouldn't be banged on. So I wanted to make sure I was doing things right. I've never done this before. I don't have a blast cabinet, which would be the ideal solution. Maybe I'll send it out somewhere, because that'd be quite a bit easier than doing it myself. I placed an order last week through rareparts.com. That's the only place I was able to find these articulated strut rod bushing. These are a 67 only, 67 Cougar only strut rod setup, as far as I know. And so these bushings aren't very easy to find. I think Rare Parts was the only place that had them. So I put an order in for those last week. Got them pretty quick, within like a couple days, and went over to my dad's over the weekend, and I pressed them in. It went really smoothly. So now these are ready to bolt in. These are Delrin. I got these from Open Tracker, I believe. Start staging stuff on the front suspension. All right, so I got these strut rods here. I'm going to add a bit of grease on these bushings. The strut rods mount diagonally across the arm. I'm not going to tighten anything down until I get the coil springs in, and the suspension is loaded. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it's coming together. I'll probably do some adjustments on like the actual rod mountings to the frame rail, just to get things more condensed. The manual does say that the rear nut right here to the, I guess this metal bushing coupling thing here, I don't know exactly what that's called, would be about, it says 3.93 inches is the spacing for it. So I guess I'll try to do that. Yeah, we'll see what we can figure out.